Welcome. You're just seconds away from the Brawdy Show, where listener participation is strongly encouraged. Well, unless, of course, you're easily triggered, then listener discretion is strongly advised. And if you fall into the latter camp, why don't you just mortal up already?
Thanks for listening to the Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome to episode 536 of the Brawdy Show. It's a rescue mission, and we're going to talk all about it. Thank you so very much for joining us here, as I said, at radiobry.com, mortalup.com if you're listening over on the website, or if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us. So we have so much to get to today, Wayne, as you know, just with all the craziness going on in the world. I thought I'd take just a quick minute to remind everybody that no matter the mashugana, no matter the insanity, no matter the chaos, you were built for chaos. Yeah, we like it when life's comfortable. We can kick back, we can relax, maybe have a mint julep out on the back porch in a recliner underneath the shade umbrella. But that's not always the way it works. So yes, we're in very crazy times, chaotic times, but you were built for chaotic times. You were built to rise to any challenge. Your back is built to be cornered. You fit perfectly. Think about it. If you roll your shoulders over, you fit perfectly into the corner. So no matter the craziness, no matter the media outlet you listen to, no matter all the pundits, the political philosophers and all of it, you know, AKA punks, regardless of all of it, you're better, you're smarter, you're faster, you're stronger than all of these people trying to usurp your power, trying to steal your focus so that you can turn your focus onto their focus. Because here's the deal, through all of this, whoever wins, it's all about advertising, right? All these outlets want your attention because your attention means it increases the chances of selling you a widget, a trinket, a bauble, a whatnot, right? So do not despair that with as I say, with everything going on, you're better than all of it, and you will rise to whatever the challenge is, whatever it is, how it works out, how it plays out. Let's give it some time. Now, everyone's talking about, oh, can you believe the lawsuits? Can you believe this? Can you believe that? The Dow follows its own path, right? So here's what I do believe. Here's what I do know. Regardless of the outcome, you'll rise above it. Whether you're guy or you're guy/girl or you're guy and guy, whether they win or lose, you're better than all the craziness, and you will absolutely rise above it. So thank you all for listening. Again, episode 536. It's a rescue mission. What are we trying to rescue? Well, we'll get to that in Mortal Up. But as I said to a good friend of mine, everything you've ever needed, you've always had. It's in you. So our main goal is to get in there and rescue your natural resources, rescue the very best parts of you, rescue those things, your authentic vigor, your natural grit. We want to rescue those things when everyone else is trying to steal them from you, at least distract you from them. And as you know, I believe the reason everyone works so hard to distract you is that a distracted you is easier to beat, right? A fragmented you is easier to control. So I'd ignore all the brittle brains atop balsa wood spines trying to steal your power by giving you some kind of kabuki theater, giving you some kind of bait and switch. Oh, look over here. Isn't it horrible? It's horrible. It's just horrible. Well, you're better than all of it, right? So what we're saying is, let's you and I agree. Is it entirely possible that it's time? Dana, Lee, nice to see you. I love you as well. Thank you so very much for joining us. Is it time for you and I to admit, yeah, we're going to have to out-brutal the brutal? However this crazy election turns out, it's going to be up to you and I to draw our personal line in Liberty's sand and decide, how are we going to rise above the Meshuggah? So as I say all the time, it's absolutely the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Why? Because I think to get through this time, you and I are going to have to call right? We're going to have to scale our spine and mortal up. All right, let me say hello as always, Wayne. Thank you for everything, especially all the work you did. Bill, if you're listening, thank you as well. To everyone listening, thank you so very much. So, Wayne, what's new and exciting with you? How's everything going? Isn't this just the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive?
Yeah, you just throw your hands up in the air and see where things fall.
Yeah, right? Or you throw your hands up in the air like this and you go, come on, bring it. Doesn't matter what you got. I'm going to rise above it, right? As you know, I love the fact that Counterpunch.media is a sponsor because whatever craziness they bring, you and I, we're kicking back, right? We're readying the counterpunch.
Absolutely.
Whatever that is, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Darren, hello to you as well. Much love to your brother, or as we've grown fond of saying around here, Darren, mortal up. And you know what was so interesting to the callers, the voicemails we got last week, Wayne, from people saying, mortal up, mortal up. I was, someone has been very, very nice. I don't want to use the person's name, but they've called the show, or they've called the philosophy of mortal up, the human mind's Mandalorian, right? And if you watch any of the last season or the new season, the extenuation, of everything going Star Wars, if you watch the continuation, as Daniel says, scary times for sure. So if you watch any of that, you know that they always say, hey, this is the way. I know it's terribly the Tao follows its own path, right, of mine, but they know how to knock it off. And they did. This is the way. So what's going on? Whatever's going on, this is the way. And you and I will rise to that challenge. So when they say to each other, when the Mandalorians greet each other and go, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way, you and I greet each other and we just go mortal up. Because whatever it is that befalls us, we're going to rise above it. All right, Wayne, so there's my hands thrown up in the air. Let's get to the first segment because I just want to get this off my chest, get it out of the way, and we'll go from there. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, Darren says quickly, I can. Darren, I absolutely love that. I'm with you, brother, and I know you will. All right, today's Lowlifes making headlines. Look, anytime you shoot any human being, right, but to go ahead and shoot a cop, trying to these two police officers in Wisconsin were responding to, I think it was a hit and run, if I remember. Oh, the officers were answering a report of a hit and run when the suspect opened fire. So it begs the question. Now, I don't know a lot of the particulars in the case, but having been a cop that responds to hit and runs, having been a cop that responds to distress calls, they may very, very well have been set up. Maybe, I think I heard, Wayne, did I, that they arrested a couple of suspects in the case that are not the shooter. Right. Is that correct? They've nailed a couple of people. Okay, thank you. They've nailed a couple of people that aren't a shooter, but our low life's making headlines is anyone that would shoot another human being, obviously other than in self-defense, right? But the low life making headlines, let's hope they catch this person, whoever he or she is. But if he's armed and on the loose, which, hello, Miss Putnam. Let me say hello very quickly before I get into the next little bit. How are you? So before I get into that, let me just say that if you shoot another human being, what the hell is wrong with you? Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you feloniously try to take another human being's life. And with all the calls to defund police in Wisconsin, I don't know what the vote is to defund police in Wisconsin. Can't tell you, Wayne. Maybe you do. But are you going to send a social worker to try to mitigate the damage of a hit and run? Understand, a hit and run means you're hit with a car and then the driver of the car takes off, doesn't care whether you're dead or not, doesn't care how you're injured. We haven't talked about, or I haven't studied, I should say, as much of this case. But suffice to say, today's lowlifes making headlines, this particular Wisconsin shooter, whoever he or she may be, this armed, and you have to say dangerous suspect still on the loose, they get our lowlifes making headlines for today. Wayne?
Yes, sir.
10 after, brother. Give it a riff.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
Not imply an endorsement. So if you're going to be a guest on the show, and we love having you, don't forget you can also email us at Brian at RadioBri.com. Brian at RadioBri.com. Wayne was telling me that there were some internet outages yesterday. I think we're back on top of that. Some other craziness going on in the internet, not just here in the country, but around the world. I think we're back on top of that. So we shouldn't have that to worry about today. So, Wayne, let's go ahead and kick it in for our next segment. What's following up Low Life's Making Headlines? Ooh, I love this one. The Maleficent 7. All right, so let's get into this, if you can. The Maleficent 7 for today. Now, I want to save Jimmy Kimmel, I think it is. Jimmy Kibbles and Bits, right? I want to save a little Jimmy Kimmel for we've got a segment coming just especially for this type of brainiac. We've got that coming. Now, you might say, why John Leguizamo? Well, I really liked him in Ice Age. He was Seth the Sloth. Why is he on your Maleficent 7? Why is Leguizamo? And he did a great job in with Keanu Reeves in that one, the movie. The number 4 one's just getting to come out where he's a bad guy. I forget the name of the movie. Wayne, what is that? We just asked that the other day. What was that?
I don't have it right off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither. Keanu Reeves running around. He's a hitman. He's for hire. In any event, John Leguizamo played the crash maker guy, the guy that you could take your car in if it was crashed, and he'd be able to fix it for you and turn it around. Someone tell me here in the thread, who is the guy, Keanu Reeves, in the movie? There's a series. Now, the 4th one is just getting ready to come out. It's not The Matrix, but whatever that is. In any event, little Johnny comes out and says he's disowning, quote, the lemmings in Florida, the Hispanic community, the Puerto Rican community. He's disowning everyone in Florida because of the vote in the Miami-Dade County area that went away from Joe Biden and went to President Trump. So he's all upset. He's come out, and whoever listens to him, maybe he should have done the voice as Sid the Sloth. I don't know. But here's little Johnny. And I should say, right before we get to Jimmy Drivel, we get to Johnny. Why is it? Because they're just bullies. They're using an open mic. They're using their pulpit to pick on other people. Some live pulpits, right? Talk about a bully pulpit. They're the definition of bully pulpit. They're trying to bully people in because their sense of narcissism is so great. They think we give a crap about their opinion. Right? We really give a crap about their opinion. And that, we're just mortified. We're triggered. We're hurt. We're offended. How will we ever get through the end of the day? Get me a bottle of champagne. I'm heading to the bathtub for a warm soak and a razor blade to my wrist. How will we ever get through the day if John Leguizamo calls us lemmings if we live in the state of Florida? I don't care who you vote for. I've said that 1,000 times, Wayne, haven't I? It doesn't matter. Right. But these bullies that turn around and call other people names and say, I'll never go back to the state of Florida again. Who gives a crap if you ever come back to the state of Florida?
Well,
right, Wayne? At least that's my opinion.
Yeah. The funny thing about this guy, he's basically going after the Hispanic community down in Miami-Dade. The Hispanic community, a large chunk of those people that live down there have lived under socialism.
Right. They know
what it's like. Yeah. Apparently, he has never.
Aww.
So he has no idea what he's even talking about.
Sid the Sloth hasn't. Wait a minute. Hold the boat. Sid the Sloth has never lived under socialism, but yet he's calling everyone else a lemming, the little pantyweight.
Yep.
Right? He's calling everyone else in Florida, disparaging an entire group of people, calling them lemmings. Nice touch, asshat.
Yep.
Oh, let me say, I'm supposed to say took his face. I guess I'm not supposed to say asshat anymore. I'm supposed to say tushy lips. Whatever I'm supposed to say, Wayne. There's days where I can't remember my last name. So who knows? All right, moving on. Now, Wayne, I need a little bit of help with some of these people on the list. Talk to me about Sunny Houston. That must be how it's pronounced. Sunny Houston. Isn't she from The Spew? What's the name of the television show she's on?
Yeah, The Spew, The View.
The Spew. Okay, so she's
View.
on The Spew. Sunny The Spew Houston. Please help me. Why did she make our list today? A Maleficent 7.
Everything is racism. Anybody who voted for Trump is racist.
Oh, wow. Can't seem to get away from that
70 million or whatever the number is.
All right. Oh, so everyone that doesn't see it her way is racist.
Absolutely. That's what she says.
Well, I got to tell you, just for the record, that's a great drum roll right? That's a great look. Because now we get to introduce the next name on the list, which is Joy Reid, because didn't I see that she says, along with her friend Van, what is it?
Van Jones.
Not Morris. I'm not slamming the singer. Van Jones, how deeply hurt they are. Because if President Trump gets the 70 million votes, then there's 70 million, what is it? Anti-woke, anti-blackness racists in the country. And isn't she the one that called Clarence Thomas Uncle Clarence in clearly a racist thing as I've ever heard coming out of some of these talk show hosts, because they're not reporters, Wayne, they're talk show hosts, which makes me think we should have a segment instead of jousting with journalists. We should have a segment called Secondhand Stupid. Right? Just like people don't like secondhand cigarette smoke because it could help contribute to lung cancer. Maybe we should come up with a segment called Secondhand Stupid, because if you listen to these people, it'll just rot your brain. So let me see if I've got this right. You're saying Sonny Houston and Joy Reid have both said we have 70 million, at least 70 million certified anti-woke, anti-black racists in this country. Did I hear somewhere, Wayne, you're more caught up on this than I am, did I hear that President Trump increased his percentages in the minority communities pretty much across the board? And by increase, I mean more of minorities voted for him recently than did in 2016. Am I reading that tea leaf correctly?
You are absolutely right.
I'm absolutely right. So Sonny and Joy want you to believe that 70 million people are racist, and what an uphill battle these two brainiacs must have. Unbelievable. All right, so get to me about Josh Gadfly. What is his name? What's it say here? Oh, Josh, who's God? No, not God, Gad.
Gad.
Who in the hell is Josh Gad?
Let me bring it up. I got to read what you sent me the link.
I sent you the link?
Yeah.
Oh, is this the nut job that equated the assassination of President Lincoln? Or was that? I don't know. I forget what I sent you.
Oh,
who knows?
Keep going. I'll find it.
All right. So let's get back to Keith Olbermann. And if you remember when Keith, I think he was on ESPN, maybe he was somewhere else. He used to do the segment, The Worst Person in the World. Well, now Keith gets his own, right? He just gets on and rants and raves. And is he even on TV anymore? Or is he a celebrity because of his Keith Olbermann's podcast? In any event, he's on our Maleficent 7 because he just gets on and rants and raves, and everybody's racist, everybody's stupid, he's maligned, can't believe that the vote is split right down the middle, if you believe that. And let me just say, and Wayne, let me know when you got Josh Gad.
Well, Josh Gad was also on the rate calling out the race card.
Oh, he was? I sent you that link? Huh, there you go. I tell you all the time. I can't remember. I'm not even certain what I did this time yesterday, although I'm told we did a show. All right, so here's Josh Gad is calling everyone else a racist. And I'm assuming, Wayne, that Josh is calling everybody a racist because of the people that voted against who he wanted to be?
Yep.
All right. And is it the same for Keith Olbermann? Like anyone listens to him anymore. Well, is it the same for Keith Olbermann? Was that what his rant and rave was all about?
Keith Olbermann's rant and rave was about that Trump needs to be arrested last night and put in prison.
Oh, so now Keith Olbermann is a practicing attorney. Well, that's good news. Please tell me he comes from one of the Poison Ivy Leagues. Well, this just in, breaking news, Keith Olbermann graduated from Quinnipiac, right? A lot of people may not know that, but our breaking news gong, Keith Olbermann is now graduated from law school, which will kind of stink if he really has a law degree, right? And I'm making fun of him, but he graduated from law school, Wayne, and now is calling for the arrest of a sitting president. Well, that's sure hoping to tamp it all down. And of course, Chris Emmerich. Quickly, Wayne, why is Chris on our list of the Maleficent 7, please?
Chris is the clown that used Lincoln assassination to talk about Trump.
To talk about Trump with okay. All right. So here's the deal. For everyone on our Maleficent 7 list, you go get him, Tiger. You go, Tigress. Whoever it is, you just go and throw your little temper tantrum, trying to get as many people to gulp down your Kool-Aid is possible. I think it's great, Wayne. I don't know about you, but I think, right?
Well,
just have people suck it all up.
He offended so many people. Even the DNC and the RNC has basically asked him to resign. But of course,
maybe he'll start a new business. Here's some more breaking news. And Wayne, I know you have to steal the mic for 10 seconds. Why don't you do that? We'll come back with some more. I guess you didn't know this, but Chris Emmerich is now going to team up with the Nate Sliver over at minus 538 or minus 853, whatever it is. All right, Wayne, it's yours.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests. All right. As Miss Putnam says, living the dream. Hey, thank you very much, Darren. Hello. Dana Lee, hello. Monica, I'm not sure who Monica is, but Monica, thank you so very much if you're still with us. Thank you to everyone listening over on YouTube, obviously here on Facebook. And if you're catching the show live, Wayne works, well, maybe not around the clock, but close to around the clock. Wayne works on getting new and exciting things done. If we have a chance today, before we leave for the weekend, we'll tell you a little bit about some of the things he's been working on this morning. But thank you so much, Wayne, for everything that you do. So if you're listening over at radiobri.com, mortalup.com, if you're listening over there, it's thanks to Wayne because he keeps the virtual hitchhiker going in the show. As you know, I say every day it's a radio show. We don't do a lot of video because I have a face for radio, right? With more head scars now than most Vikings. Forget the hair lip. That was easy. I got scars all over. Wayne's, the best thing you could do, Wayne, is put like a black sheet. Maybe I really should wear. Maybe I should wear a couple masks, Wayne. And that's the face you should put up when we do the show. All right, Wayne, I know we've got so many cool things to talk about. What's our next segment? Let's go ahead and cue it up. Oh, please. Enough. Why not give it a rest already? No one around here is drinking your Kool-Aid. Wayne, as Miss Putnam says, thank you, Wayne. Yes, he does everything he could to make us look and sound good. You're absolutely correct. Oh, Wayne, okay, how many? I have 8 minutes, 7 minutes now. We're going to need more than these 7 minutes. So I'd like some help. And anyone that disagrees, as you know, I consider this throwing down the gauntlet. If there's anyone here that goes, Bri, you have finally pushed the envelope. You finally pushed the limit. There's no way we can subscribe to your theory. You're welcome to comment on the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed. We monitor those. Send us a tweet, at Brian Brawdy. Or you can send us Brian at radiobri.com. But our Oh Please segment. So, Wayne, are you ready? You're sitting back. Let me see, Wayne. Are you kicking back? Do you got your coffee mug, your feet up, do you? You ready to go for this?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so from our Oh Please segment. Yeah, Wayne's up. There's his coffee cup. He's got his new socks that always match his shirt. Do you ever notice when you get a shot of Wayne, whatever shirt he has matching socks? So, Wayne, good. Are you ready? You're sitting back. You're ready to take all this in.
You need to get your eyes checked.
I need to get my – they're not the same color?
You need the glass. No. You need new glasses.
Man, I think what you need is a filter on your camera lens to kind of blend those colors because they look damn near the same to me. All right, so here's what we've got. Our Oh Please segment. Everyone running around screaming, science, science. Right? Is that true, Wayne? Is everyone running around screaming science?
Yes,
they want to use the science. Okay, so let me take you down memory lane. Have people been arrested and charged with a really heavy felony assault back in the day where people were worried that if someone spit on you, you could contract AIDS? Do you remember those stories, Wayne?
Yep.
Okay, so you could spit on someone and communicate that disease, so you have a depraved indifference to human life. So here's Divina. Please come up so I can spit on you. Sing, you little lowlife. This should have been a lowlife making headlines as well. But how can you unseat someone shooting at cops, right? That's just it. So New York Post, and I'm not to say that it's only the New York Post reporting the story, but oh, please. Here's a woman that spit in a cop's face. Now, New York Post says New York City coddles the privileged, pain in the ass. I didn't say that, Wayne. I'm just reading, right? I'm reading from the teleprompter. I'm just reading from what's up there, right? New York City coddles the privileged, pain in the ass anarchists who spit on cops. And the first thing you notice about this young lady arrested in Manhattan Wednesday for spitting in a cop's face is that she was back on the street before they had time to test the cop for rabies. swing you with yawn. I'm not saying that this woman is a rabid bat. I'm simply saying if everyone and their brother says you got to wear a mask because if you happen to sneeze, if you happen to exhale, you could give someone coronavirus, I think this woman should be charged with at least assault second, if not assault first. That's what I'm saying. Arrest her, charge her, take her to court, convict her, and sentence her to prison. If in this day of hysteria, okay, forget I said hysteria, and in this day where everyone's worried about COVID-19, everyone's worried, as you know, Wayne, I call it the Wuhan wheeze. Since everyone's worried about this, you spit in the face of another human being, and then this asshat lied about it. Like, she was spitting in this cop's face. You look at the video, and, like, the cop did nothing but stand there. She spits in this cop's face and is charged. I don't know. What is she giving, Wayne? An appearance ticket?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about? She's giving an appearance ticket.
Yeah, she's already on the streets. Nobody knows what's
she's
going to
already
happen.
She's already on the streets.
You know
denying
what it is,
no doubt.
You know how everybody wanted catch and release on the border?
Yeah, sure.
New York City is also catch and release for criminals.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, let's hope that keeps the pond, right? Just like you have catch and release in your local fishing hole, let's hope that catch and release keeps the streets full of felons. That's great. I think this woman should be charged with a felony, and I think this cop should sue her. Everyone wants to talk about qualified immunity for law enforcement officers. Great. Well, then let's talk about this. You spit in a cop's face in this day and age. No one knows. Apparently, she can only wear her mask to hide the rolls of fat under her chin, right? According to this picture, at least. You spit in the face of another human being, I think you should be charged with at least a felony assault. Now, I don't know what well, I can tell you, if she got an appearance ticket, it wasn't for a felony, right? That's just not the way the system works. But whatever she was charged with, they should up the charges, and the cop should sue her for endangering his life. How do you know this woman doesn't have COVID? How do you know that, Wayne?
You don't.
You don't know that. So how do you know that she didn't have COVID, the Wuhan wheeze, and that she transmitted it to a cop? And if I remember seeing the video correctly, this was a full-on honker. This was a full-on spitting in his face, and he didn't even have a face shield on. And she spit. So here's the thing. You've raised an entire generation of people. Can I just tell you, Wayne? And then we're going to go to the bottom of the commercial, right? So that everyone that doesn't like this opinion is welcome to email me at brian@radiobri.com. You burst a 6-foot bubble. You violate for more than 3 seconds. You spit on someone. You have, in this day and age, a depraved indifference to human life. Don't spit on me because you're not going to like the counterpunch. How do you like that for a segue into our sponsor, Counterpunch Media, also brought to you by Certifiable Brilliance, right? You don't get to spit in another human being's face. And in this day and age, where if your breath can communicate COVID-19, if your breath can communicate it, what does a whole vial of spit do? I think the cop involved should sue her. Now, he's not going to get a lot because if it were up to me, she'd be in prison for 10 years. And I'll have to do some checking. You'd think I'd know, being from New York State and a former cop. I don't know what assault second carries in terms of felonies, but maybe Dana, maybe if you're still here, you can look that up for me. What's the penalty for assault second? And she should be tried, and if convicted, right, because there's a video of her doing it, if convicted, she should be sentenced for assault second. That's all I'm saying. All right, Wayne, I know it's the bottom of the hour. We got all kinds of things to still get to. Some of my favorite segments of the day are coming up right after this short break.
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. All right, and part of our buckle up, let me say welcome back. Let me say hello to everybody, including our sponsors, Certifiable Brilliance, and also Counterpunch.media. We were lamenting that this Poison Ivy Ligger from NYU has developed the opinion that she gets to spit on whoever she wants and nothing's going to happen. I think she should be charged with a felony. And Wayne, if you get a chance in between everything else you got going on, could you just Google assault second and Google New York State CPL for criminal procedure law? Find out for me what the sentence is for assault second. While you're at it, just read the assault first statute as well. New York State CPL, find out what assault second is for me, and then we can figure out what I'm voting for this. Oh, please. You spit in another human being's face during this day and age, you should be charged with assault second. That's all I'm saying. That's my theory, right? I would expect me. Let me just say this, Wayne. I would expect me to be charged with assault second if I spit in another human being's face. I just would. Who would do that? What kind of depraved indifference to human? Just what kind of lack of respect for another human being do you have to spit in their face? And I think you only do it because you don't think there's a counterpunch, right? You don't think that people are going to retaliate. Well, my opinion, I felt it was right to spit in another, my feelings. Let me get quick news bulletin. No one gives a crap about your feelings. You spit in the face of another human being, you forfeit, in my opinion, you forfeit anyone having to listen to you and to hear all about your feelings. All right, Wayne, we're going to go ahead and open the phone lines before we get to, are we opening the phone lines now? And then we come back to our next segment. How do you want to work this?
We can do that.
Updated 2 minutes ago. All right.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
And, of course, the hieroglyphics. Wayne, let me say, you've got every phone covered there. That was something else. 833-667-8251 is the scratching it out. If you want to send me a text, it comes right to us. Also, to let you know, you're welcome to call, toll-free number. And, of course, you can send an email directly here into the console. You can send an email at brian@radiobri, right? Spelled radio, BRI.com. brian@radiobri.com. All right, Wayne, because there's so little time left, which is why in answering everyone's question, when are you going to move to 2 hours and 3 hours? When are you going to take over the noon to 3 slot? Today is one of those days that begs for that to happen because of absolutely everything we have to get through. So why don't we go ahead, cue up the next segment, and we'll go from there while we're waiting on calls. Ooh, the Woke Spoke Choke Files. One of my, the woke. Here's my quick question for anyone that might be woke and listening. Just when the hell do you plan on waking up? Woke Spoke Choked Files. All right, Wayne, I just can't wait. I'm not even going to do the drum roll. Who do we have today in our Woke Spoke Choked Files? Oh, all right, little Jimmy Drivel. Jimmy Kibbles. No, it's not Kibbles. What is it? Oh, thank you, Wayne. Jimmy Kimmel. Little Jimmy Kimmel. Nice hairpiece. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say that out loud, did I? I don't even think my microphone was on. So here's the thing about little Jimmy Kibbles and Bits. Let me get to him because I saw this and I was like, are you really kidding me? Yeah, it was killing me. But so he does a Vanity Fair. As James says, little Jimmy Kimmel, it's unimaginable. More than 68 million. Wayne, what's the vote count up to now? It might be even more than 68 million. It might be 70 million. I don't know, but it's not about who you voted for. But little Jimmy Kibbles and Bits said it was 68 million. Where's the vote at now, Wayne?
I've got to look.
All right, thank you, sir. And don't forget about the criminal procedure law in New York State, assault second. And you might as well throw in assault first because I say charger with that as well. Double charger, triple. What?
Right now, it's 69 million, almost 70 million.
Almost 70 million people. So let me just paraphrase little Jimmy Kibbles, Drivel, little Jimmy Drivel. It's unimaginable. More than 70 million people voted for Trump. Now, I know you're thinking, Brian, I'll just pick up my copy of Vanity Fair. Right? And here's the thing. All the people screaming for me, well, you should have a subscription to the New York Times. All I've ever said about the New York Times is, of course, I have a subscription. I get a subscription to all of them because you got to know, right? You got to know both sides of the wing sauce. But now let me just read a little bit. And there's a screen grab from YouTube, but we're not going to put everyone through it. Let me just read a little bit of little Jimmy Drivel. Okay, and this is a quote now. This was on his show. He has a television show, right, Wayne?
Yes, he does.
He has a television show. When does it air? Do you even know?
It's one of those nighttime, late night shows.
One of those nighttime shows. Okay, very good. So he sounded relieved on Wednesday, according to the article. Now, this is a direct quote. I have to say I am very happy and relieved that it looks like we're finally sending this monster back to Mar-a-Lago. Well, isn't that a crafty writer? Monster and Mar-a-Lago. All I would say to your script writers is that find a word other than monster that has 4 syllables that rhymes with Mar-a-Lago. Hires a script writer with at least a little bit of command of the English language, you drool bag. See how I did that? Drool, 1-syllable, bag, another one. Okay. Turnout for Tuesday's election was highest in the United States in more than 100 years. Well, we like that. Leading to record vote totals for both the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, and for President Trump. So records for both. While the ballots are still being counted, blah, 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 blah. But that's not why we highlighted him today in the Woke Spoke Choke Files. With thin margins, he goes on to say, he was confused. It left him confused, which is what it leaves me wondering why anyone listens to Jimmy Drivel, why anyone would watch his Kibbles and Bits show. Quote, it's unimaginable to me, unimaginable, this is Kibbles and Bits talking, that close to half of American voters saw that this man saw what this man has done to the country over the last 4 years. And then he rattles off a litany of what he thought should have been disqualifying things for the president. He says he kowtowed to Vladimir Putin. He cozied up to Kim Jong-un. Yeah, hey, Jimmy, little Jimmy Drivel, Mr. Drivel, let me ask you, we haven't gone to war with either of them, so maybe the diplomacy of trying to be a little more inclusive, a little less, well, let's just send a missile and let a Laws rocket, let a cruise missile figure it all out. He kowtowed to Vladimir Putin and cozied up to Kim Jong. He alienated us from our allies. Our allies haven't paid barely a nickel of what they owed. So all he did from alienating us from our allies, you drool bag, was that he wanted to make sure that everyone paid their fair share. Now, a little Jimmy Drivel, not everyone makes as much as you for getting on TV. I'm assuming it's a nightly show. Not everyone gets paid what you do to rant and rave and spew all of your stuff, right? So for the rest of us, we're all over whatever we can do to save the United States money. Not that you have to care because for some reason they pay you a boatload of bank, right? Yes, that was a resume, a filler, a boatload of bank. Why don't you send that to your writers so they can learn the craft? Let me say, he put children in cages. I don't know. Wayne, let me ask you a quick question. Now, again, having no political affiliation, no dog in a fight. As my sister says, not my monkey, not my circus. So he put children in cages. Let me see. How were those cages built? Did President Trump send a bunch of welders down there to build these cages? Did he? How does that work? Where did these cages come from?
They came from the Obama administration.
The Obama administration. Little Jimmy Drivel. Obama administration built the cages. I gotcha. He villainized the press. Well, look, stand in line. Everyone's villainizing certain members of the press. He hid his tax returns. Okay, maybe he's guilty of something. Who knows? We'll never know. Maybe he will. He tear-gassed peaceful protesters. Listen, little Jimmy Drivel, enough already. He pardoned his criminal buddies. He extorted Ukraine. Here's what's fascinating to me, Wayne.
Did he extort Ukraine, or did Biden extort Ukraine?
No, that's why I said last night, oh, wait a minute, I got the wrong guy. I thought he was talking about Biden the whole time. He extorted Ukraine. Oh, did he? He misled us about COVID. Little Jimmy, not everybody's as worried as you are about the Wuhan wheeze. So get over yourself. Let me see. Extorted Ukraine, misled about COVID. Oh, he dismantled the pandemic response team. He dismantled healthcare. He called neo-Nazis very fine people, which is in fact not true. What he said is there's fine people on both sides. He wasn't saying that neo-Nazis as a closed set You got a Venn diagram and you draw neo-Nazis. He was saying there's fine people on both sides, meaning as human beings, he was talking about. Fine people on both sides. He hired a never-ending parade of imbeciles, just like you and your writers on, what is the name of this drool bag show? The Tonight Show with Jimmy Kibble?
Yep.
Whatever it's called. Talking about a never-ending parade of imbeciles, you sure know how to spell imbecile. He lied, and then he lied some more. He goes on to say, he is a liar and a cheat who wants them to stop counting thousands of legitimate votes. We'll wait and see. And almost half of us are apparently okay with it. So he's just slamming everyone who voted differently than he did. Half of us want to keep it going for 4 more years. But here's what gets me. All right, Wayne, can I just tell you why we're going on about the Woke Spoke Choke Files, little Jimmy Drivel?
You're going to do it anyway, so go for it.
Well, thank you so very much for not killing my mic. He goes on to say, I don't care what you think of Joe Biden. And this is a quote, if Joe Biden stopped by my house every morning to key my car and pee in my pool, well, I'd give another assignment to that writer because at least pee and pool are both one syllables that rhyme. If he stopped by my house to pee in my pool, there would still be no question of which one of them I'd vote for. None. So let me get this straight. With all the controversy around Biden or Hunting Biden or whatever we call him, right, to get past the fact-checking police. With all of this, he just basically said he doesn't care what crimes were committed. He doesn't care what crimes may have been committed by the incoming president if he turns out to be the incoming. He doesn't care about his crimes. So what little Jimmy Kibble is saying is, yeah, feel free to go and elect a felon. And with rising anger in his voice, oh, I'm sorry, little Jimmy. Maybe they should give you a peach crate to stand on. Oh, would that make you feel taller? Would that make you feel better? If you don't like it, why don't you come and find me? With rising anger in his voice, what more did Donald Trump have to do to show us that he's insane? Show us he's insane. Biden hasn't been able to pronounce. Now, I don't care who you vote for. It doesn't matter. But Biden can't pronounce a complete sentence without messing something up. How much more does he have to show us that he's insane and not fit to lead the country? Here's the closing line and why he wins today's award and why I will call him Jimmy Drivel for the rest of my life. I feel like I've overestimated the American people, and I underestimated the village people. So here he is, Wayne, throwing everyone that thinks differently than he does, throwing every one of them under the bus, which is why little Jimmy Drivel gets our Woke Spoked Choked files for today. You go get 'em, Tiger. You do what you can. You reach right out there, right? You just go ahead and do whatever you like. All right, Wayne, that's enough of our Woke Spoke Choke files. I know you need the calm for a quick 10 seconds. So the phone lines are tied up, are they? Well, you're welcome to leave us a message. And because your voice deserves to be heard, we just might play the recording on air. So sit up straight, take a deep breath, belt it out, and let us know what you're thinking. All right, don't forget to let us know what you're thinking. You can text us 833-667-8251, or you're welcome to, we'd love to have you on. Call us if you like, MORTAL and the numeral 1. We're not saying that you have to agree with my position. You might think, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Then just give us a call and let us know that as well. We love, right? We love the discussion. I could be totally wrong. Maybe if maybe little Jimmy Drivel says the vice president could come over, key his car every day, pee in his pool. Maybe Jimmy Drivel would feel differently if the president mistook Jimmy's newspaper box for a toilet, took a dump every day. I don't know. Maybe that would be enough to convince Jimmy not to vote for him in the election. But it basically, here's the 3 things you need to know from that little rant in Vanity Fair and on the show. I'm assuming he did the same thing on the show. He thinks you're just a horrible person and a guy that's like 4'11" I don't know how tall he is, but in any event, a guy barely taller than Vermicelli, Anthony Vermicelli. How's he pronounce his last name? It's not Vermicelli. What is it? Oh, Scaramucci. You're right. Thank you very much, Wayne. Anthony Scaramucci. Here's a guy saying he underestimated or he overestimated us, because if you believe differently than he did, let me ask you, Jimmy, of all the Hispanic vote, of all the Puerto Rican vote, of all the African American vote, of all the gay and lesbian vote, of all those people, did you underestimate them as well? Because they gave in greater numbers more votes than what Trump got in 2016. So 4 years later, when his numbers in certain areas are up, are you saying you racist? Are you saying those people are underestimated? What a hack. What a hack. Oh, and please feel free. Somebody give him the number. He's welcome to call. Not that he'll ever, right? Not that he has the courage to call, because he can stand on an X in front of a camera and just spew whatever it is he thinks. But here it is, right? Call me. Call me, call me, call me. You're a boxer, I think. Call me, little Jimmy Drivel. That's right. Since everyone and their brother seems ready to go to blows over this, Wayne, I just say let's do it. If that's how it's going to be, why can't we just let the system play itself out? I still believe in our system. I still believe that if there was vote tampering, we'll get to the bottom of it. If there wasn't vote tampering, we'll get to the bottom of that as well. Well, I still believe that we're right. We're still a great country. And I don't care, as I've said 1,000 times, Wayne, I don't care about your theory. I don't care about your opinion, because there are days I don't care about my theories. I don't care about my opinions. What I care about is the person temporarily housing those opinions and theories, right? Not the opinion, not the theory, not the rant, but the person beneath all of that. That's what I care about. So for me, what little Jimmy Drivel has to say, we couldn't care less. And all I'm saying is we started off the show. Wayne, I guess this is as good a time. If we need another little break, great. If not, we might as well just run to Mortal Up, right? Because we're in the thick of it now anyways. So why don't we just go ahead and cue that up. All right, so here we go. Arrow, dead center of what we're talking about today. I believe, even though Jimmy Kimmel doesn't, I believe in you. I believe that there are passionate people that feel one way or another how this should turn out. As I've said countless times, it's up to you and me, regardless of the outcome. You and I now, at this stage, can't affect the outcome. What we can do is mortal up. What we can do is harness and direct our natural resources. What we can do is launch our authentic vigor, because that's what's going to make a positive impact in our lives, not some politician. And that's what, if you talk about the people that are like, oh, that really gets my goat. I've got to tell you, the only thing that gets my goat, or my little chipmunk, right? One of the two. One of the two. The other thing that gets my goat is that everyone thinks their life is going to change one way or another. Whoever your overlord is that you put into office. Right? Quick news bulletin for you. It's not going to change dramatically. What will change dramatically is your life when you decide to mortal up. When you decide to be who you truly are. Don't let outside mashugana, don't let it penetrate you. Don't run around with a perforated soul. Don't give these people the ability to drive right through your sense of self with any of their baloney. Why would you let that happen? And that's the focus of Mortal Up, is just remember, you were not born watered down. Did you need a little bit of help in the beginning? Yes. Did they drop you like a gazelle on the prairies of Africa and you had to be able to run a 100-yard dash in 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is? I don't know many gazelles, but they run really fast, I'm told. They got to be able to run fast than a hungry cheetah. Right? Okay, so you and I needed a little bit of coddling in the beginning, but eventually we grew up. Not the girl that spits in another human being's face. She didn't grow up. She still thinks that her way is the right way, and the hell with everyone else. So I'm thrilled. And as I say every day, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Now, Wayne, we can't share this link. Oh, Wayne, did you ever get to the criminal procedure law? What is it in in New York.
In the second degree is a Class C. Class C felony.
Class C felony. Charge her with a Class C felony. If you're a district attorney in New York City and you have any, what did you call it? Intestinal fortitude? No, courage, Wayne, you called it. If you have any courage at all, charge her with a Class C felony. Oh, I'm sorry. You can lock down the restaurants. You can lock down the theaters. You can rob other people of their livelihoods because you're afraid if they don't wear a mask, they're going to spread COVID. But this asshat can spit in the face of another human being. Charge her with a C felony. I trust your jurors. I trust the grand jury. Put it in front of a grand jury, Brainiac. Put her in front of the grand jury, charge her with a C felony. Let them decide if spitting in another human being's face in this day and age constitutes, at the very least, assault second, if not assault first, if not attempted murder, right? You're going to charge right? We've got to grind our economy to the halt. I saw somewhere, Wayne, where they go, we think there should be a mandate. And I know for all the people ready to say, let's give it to Joe Biden. Great. So let's give it to Joe Biden when there's a national mask mandate. I want this woman charged with a felony. Don't be trying to rob other people of their livelihoods. Don't be trying to lock everybody else down. Governor Cuomo, stand up and say, you spit in a cop's face, you're going to be charged with a felony. Do that. Then I'll start to believe your press clippings. But other than that, even if I ordered your book, which I wouldn't, if I find it alongside of the road, I'd use it to level a coffee table. That's what I'd use it for. So all we're suggesting in this segment is stand up and be who you truly are. Not the fake news, not all the press clippings, not everything that they say to water you down and get you. Right? I've said this before, Wayne. It's like when I recorded that mosquito master sounds of all those mosquitoes in Florida. It's the same thing. So why are all the pollsters? Why are all the political pundits? What's the rush? We'll be here in a month. Let the election work out the way it works out. But to throw other people under the bus, to say that we're all racist, we're all anti-woke, right? We're all anti-woke. However you want to spin it, right? We're all anti-blackness because some people voted, maybe 70 million people voted differently. You're going to underestimate all those people because they have a different opinion than you do? Look, Wayne, let me just ask a question. Let me just ask. What is the definition of narcissist? Right? Everyone's running around. Oh, here's the top 10 things you can do to spot a narcissist. I've got the number one thing. Be little Jimmy Drivel and say that you underestimate 70 million people because they don't see it like you do. If there's a banner, if there's a crest, if there's a shield, if there's a pattern to wear on your kilt, and you go, oh yeah, you see this is the sign of the narcissist. It would be, Wayne, can you throw our Maleficent 7 back up, please? If there were the mark of the narcissist, and look, let's just say one thing. Narcissism is a narcotic, right? If you're a narcissist, you get off on spitting in other people's faces. That's all I'm saying, right? Narcissist means you don't care about another human being. You're all in it. So little Jimmy Drivel saying that, right? Oh, clearly I've underestimated 70 million people because we don't believe what he believes. Now, you want to let people key your car, take a dump in your front yard, you're still going to vote for him? Great. You use that vote for your housing association or whatever it is. Vote for your local councilman. John Leguizamo calling everybody lemmings. If not everyone in the state of Florida, then at least all the people in Miami. He thinks he's better than you are. Right? Little Johnny is never going back to Miami or the state of Florida again. I'd invalidate, all right? I wouldn't let him in. Don't let him in then. You don't want to come back? Don't come back, you loser. You and Sid the Sloth, have a nice life. Sonny, Joy, Josh, Keith, everyone's screaming, oh, this country is full of racists. No, we're not. It's not systemic. It's not endemic. It's not institutionalized. But that's what all these people, you listen to them, buzzing around for attention, looking for any numbers they can get. They're going to lead you to believe that you're somehow subject to their drool just because it's their drool. Is there a greater definition And Wayne, if I'm wrong, just tell me, is there a greater definition of narcissism than throwing 70 million people, slamming, disparaging 70 million people because they don't see it the way you do? Is there a great, it's not rhetorical. Do you think there's a greater definition of narcissism than calling everyone in the state of Florida that voted differently than you did? Does he even live in Florida, Wayne?
I have no idea where he lives.
Right. So you don't even have the chance of voting for this brainiac. And I have to say, he was brilliant in Sid the Sloth, in all the Ice Age movies. Just brilliant. Right. But you're going to throw an entire group of people under the bus because they see life differently than you do? No wonder tensions are as high as they are.
I don't know.
Just don't listen to them.
I've got a little philosophy about what's going on with some of these people.
Well, let's hear it. I'm all over it. Let's hear it.
I honestly believe when these people go to sleep at night, go to bed at night, the ghost of Goebbels comes in and talks to them.
Well,
sort
we'll
of like
see.
a subliminal message.
Yeah. We'll see in a little bit, won't we? Oh, yeah. Tiger, you go get him, little Johnny. I'm never going to Florida again. I'm allergic to lemmings. Oh, are you really? All right, I got off the track a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, Wayne? When we mortal up, when we remember who we ultimately are. When I had someone send me a meme the other day from Silence of the Lambs, where the bad guy that's storing people in that pit, that vat in his basement because he's getting ready to use their skin. The meme was he's answering the door and he goes, "Oh, if you need some thicker skin, come on in. I've got some extra in the basement." Right? Don't let them in. Don't let them in. You're better than they are. They know it, Wayne. Here's the bait and switch of it. They know you're better than they are, which is why they're going to do everything they can to throw you in front of a passing semi. Everything they can. And all I'm simply suggesting is that you know you don't suck. You know you're better, faster, stronger, smarter. And that's the persona I suggest that you fall back on. All right, Wayne, let me do this as we get ready to get out of here. Let me thank everyone on YouTube. Let me thank the people on Facebook and the people that texted me during the show. Yes, I promise I'll never use your name. Thank you very much. Also, thank everyone over on YouTube. If you're listening live, if we're a virtual hitchhiker and you're putting us on in the car as you're busy out and about running around, thank you very much. It's been an honor, truly. It's been an honor to be with you. Now, if you're listening to the rebroadcast, either here on RadioBri.com or over on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, still an honor, right? You're busy. You can't join us live at noon. We get that. It's lunchtime. Maybe you got other things to do, but we are honored for you to be listening to the taped version of our show. So let me thank our sponsors. So Wayne, I guess today am I hearing you correctly? We're no longer doing Hollywood U-Haul and Pack It with Pods. We're no longer using them as sponsors. Is that correct?
Well, it really depends on what the final,
Right.
like I told you earlier.
Yep.
And I also mentioned this on somebody else's show the other day.
Yep.
It ain't over until it's over.
It ain't over until the
it's over.
Big person sings. I don't want to say fat lady because then everyone will be giving me a hard time.
And then
but
once
it ain't
it's
over
over,
till the
once
large
it's over,
person
then
sings.
we'll decide whether we need to use Hollywood U-Haul.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Pack It with Pods.
Don't let me jump ahead of everything going on. All right, you all, thank you so very much. You can continue to text us. You continue to email us. We got it all in. Regardless of the Meshuggah, love your family, love your friends. Have an absolutely, I was going to say riot, Wayne, but someone will go, well, Brian is inciting riots on the show. Have an absolute blast. And by blast, I just mean a riot.
Yeah, not
right?
an explosion. Not an explosion.
Right? I mean, just have the thrill of your life. Love the people you love. Be cool to the people you don't yet know. Don't throw other people under the bus and mortal up. Wayne, we are out.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.